Welcome to Lesson 1, Introducing Oracle Configuration Controls Governor, or CCG 5.5.1. This lesson is the first of 4 lessons included in the OIC audio and PowerPoint presentations for the course called Using Oracle CCG 5.5.1. OIC students use these audio and PowerPoint presentations in conjunction with the Oracle Configuration Controls Governor User Guide for Release 5.5. There is no user guide for Release 5.5.1. Similarly, OIC students are given access to the OIC GRC Sandbox, which provides them with access to Oracle CCG 5.5.1 for 90 days. This enables OIC students to complete lab exercises assigned with each lesson and gain hands-on experience using CCG 5.5.1. Quite honestly, I have no idea where you would get hands-on experience any place in the entire world using the Oracle GRC applications, unless perhaps you work for Oracle, maybe one of the big 4, or had access to it on the client site. Also, our instance of Oracle CCG 5.5.1 is currently integrated with our Oracle Vision demo instance for release 12.1.1. We're going to upgrade that to 12.1.3 here soon. Again, this gives our students an opportunity to define and monitor key controls as snapshot definitions, change tracking definitions, and change tracking queries. And this is essentially the functionality provided by CCG. Introducing Oracle CCG 5.5.1. After you complete this lesson, you should understand that Oracle Configuration Controls Governor 5.5.1 is one of 4 governors included in the Oracle GRC Controls Suite. Now, I emphasize the word suite versus Oracle GRC Controls, which is the application that includes Oracle Application Access Controls Governor and Transaction Controls Governor. Both those applications are now included in GRC Controls, the application. But the suite includes the GRCC controls, like I said, which is the AACG, Application Access Controls Governor, and Transaction Controls Governor. The suite also includes Preventive Controls Governor, or PCG, and Configuration Controls Governor, or CCG. So, both the CASO and the COBIT frameworks require that you implement effective internal controls for configuration management and change management. Oracle Configuration Controls Governor, or CCG, integrates with one or more of your EBS instances and enables you to implement efficient and effective configuration management and change management solutions. Now let's talk about configuration management here for a second. You can use CCG 5.5.1 to take a snapshot of your baseline for Oracle system controls and then enforce consistency with your baseline across sets of books or ledgers and or operating units. Similarly, you can compare one occurrence of a snapshot definition with another occurrence of the same definition to display all differences between the 2 definitions. Now, there's many other uses for Oracle Configuration Controls Governor and Configuration Management, but this just gives you an idea. Oracle CCG 5.5.1 enables a company to track every change made to specific setup objects for an Oracle application. Moreover, you can define change tracking queries to monitor key controls, and the system will send you an email alert when a user changes a key control. Now, there are some prerequisites before you can implement a solution that Oracle will support. For example, you must install Oracle CCG and configure CCG with at least one Oracle EBS instance, such as a test or development instance. CCG 5.5.1 must be installed on a physical server such as a Linux x86-64. Moreover, CCG must be configured with an EBS instance that does not use a rack environment. Make sure that you review the Oracle GRC support matrix to ensure that your solution is supported by Oracle. Also, the Oracle CCG 5.5.1 implementation workbook is a must-read for Oracle GRC professionals who want to learn best practices for implementing Oracle CCG 5.5.1. And at the end, in one of the appendices, we include links to the Oracle GRC manuals. Implementing configuration management. Oracle Controls Governor CCG is a very good solution for configuration management, especially if you have installed Release 11i or Release 12 of the Oracle applications. Now keep in mind that you can effectively use Oracle CCG during the implementation of your Oracle applications to reduce implementation costs by eliminating the need to manually check for differences between a setup and one or more instances. Similarly, you can potentially use the snapshots to replace your labor-intensive BR100s, which are the Oracle configuration documents. Typically, somebody has to document the configuration. This is done manually, and candidly, it's never up to date. Now, you could use a CCG snapshot to do that, and it'll be exactly up to date. Implement change management. Oracle Configuration Controls Governor is also a very good solution for change management, especially if you have installed Release 11i or Release 12 of the Oracle applications. You can use the auto-generated baseline change tracking definitions to quickly deploy a change tracking solution, i.e. a tool to facilitate change management in the development and or test EBS instance. You can review and edit these change tracking definitions to track specific configuration parameters such as credit profiles. Similarly, you can use filters to specify the values you wish to track for each configuration parameter. Key controls. You need to identify the key controls that you want to monitor. You can't effectively monitor every value for every setup parameter. We recommend that you discuss this with your internal auditor, IT staff, SOX advisor, and or external auditor. For example, does your auditor ask for the same documentation for specific queries during every audit? If so, what are they, and can we use Oracle CCG to provide the evidence required by your auditor? Did your auditor identify any internal control weaknesses? If so, did they include internal controls for configuration management and or change management? If they did, you may be able to use Oracle CCG to significantly improve these controls. Are you implementing Oracle financial applications for Release 12? If so, you can leverage CCG 5.5.1 to track changes made to your approved baseline configuration for each application. In other words, you can enforce your system of internal controls. Now, when we talk about deploying change tracking definitions, what is it we mean? You simply schedule, i.e. you run the change tracking definition for the first time to deploy that change tracking definition. Oracle CCG tracks all changes made to the configuration parameters for a specific application effective from the date and time that you actually deploy or run that definition for the first time. You can create change tracking queries. You can also create change tracking queries using a combination of several parameters, including instance, user, date, application, and other filters. You can specify one or more users to receive a notification when a user changes any of the parameter values defined for that change tracking query. Think of the change tracking query as the regular change tracking definition. You define a change tracking definition for a specific instance and application. You can define a change tracking query to apply to more than one instance, application, users, etc. Moreover, you can send notifications when another user changes one or more of the parameters defined for your query. Now, what are the prerequisites? We talked a little bit about it, and we'll discuss them a little bit more. You must, as I mentioned before, you must install Oracle CCG 5.5.1 and configure CCG with at least one Oracle EBS instance, such as a test or development instance. CCG 5.5.1 must be installed on a physical server such as a Linux x86-64. Moreover, CCG must be configured with an EBS instance that is not installed in a rack environment, and then make sure that you review the Oracle support matrix. It appears that I simply stated what I stated earlier, but I can't emphasize enough the importance of making sure that you go out to My Oracle Support and do a search for Oracle GRC Matrix, the Oracle GRC Support Matrix, because sometimes they change the title, and you don't always know if you have the most current version, all right? So you just have to kind of look to see if there's any other versions more current than the one that you found. I wish there was a better way to do that. I guess a better way would be to contact your Oracle sales rep or Oracle support and ask them specifically what the note number is for the most recent version of the GRC support matrix. All right. Now let's talk about generating the baseline snapshot and change tracking definitions. Generally, during the configuration of the CCG agent and or CCG configuration with an Oracle eBusiness instance, your DBA will ask you which applications you wish to monitor using CCG. The Oracle Configuration Controls Governor metadata for Oracle eBusiness Suite for Release 5.5 identifies the snapshot and change tracking objects that you can monitor using CCG with Oracle EBS Release 11.5.10.2 and also the objects you can track when you integrate with Release 12 of the EBS instance. The system automatically generates snapshot definitions, baseline snapshot definitions, and baseline change tracking definitions for each object specified for an Oracle application. For example, all setup or configuration objects by AR, AP, FA, GL, etc. This process is called Configure CCG. Once this process completes successfully, you can review the auto-generated baseline snapshot definitions and baseline change tracking definitions. You can remove objects from these definitions, filter values for specific objects, or create additional snapshot and or change tracking definitions. The system simply provides you with templates for each application schema that you can use to quickly tailor these definitions to accommodate your business requirements. Now this slide displays the baseline change tracking definitions that we generated for our Vision 12 instance. You can perform a search to also review the snapshot definitions. You see here, we're just looking at the CCG workbench. If you were to go to the right hand side of the screen, say revise search, you'll get a search screen and you can search for some additional filters. Now, I just spoke about this a little bit. You can edit, test, and schedule snapshot definitions. what we're really talking about here is Oracle provides the baseline snapshot definition, baseline change tracking definitions for the objects owned by the application schema for each application that you include in the configuration of CCG. For example, if you say, look, I want to configure CCG with the Oracle financials, you would add the Oracle financials to that configuration. And then when you run the process configure CCG, the system will automatically create these baseline definitions. Think of the baseline definitions as nothing more than templates. They don't generate anything until you actually generate or run the process, okay? And what the key is that you can't track changes until you actually run the change tracking definition for the first time, okay? Anyway, remember that you have an opportunity to select the individual and or suites of Oracle applications that you wish to monitor using Oracle Configuration Controls Governor with Release 11.5.10. 2 of the Oracle EBS. Now, with Release 12, you can only use CCG with the Oracle financial applications. So keep that in mind. These baseline definitions are templates that you can use to remove objects, for example, configuration parameters you don't wish to monitor. You can also use filters to filter the data for specific values for an object, for example, an attribute value for a specific configuration parameter. Maybe there's just one that you, in other words, you can refine your search your criteria for monitoring your configuration. Typically. Companies that first start using CCG will create snapshot definitions for all the objects owned by a specific schema, and then they'll start by deleting ones that just really make no sense. For example, you'll get a lot of things on concurrent requests. You don't really care about that. So, but anyway, that's just something for you to remember. Okay. This slide shows an example of an auto-generated baseline snapshot definition for alerts. Now, I picked this example because there are only a few attributes associated with alerts. As you can see, you can delete an attribute that you do not wish to monitor. You just go on the right-hand side, click on Delete. Similarly, you can edit an attribute such as distribution list, which I did, and if you look down below, the values for distribution lists appear, and you can then filter on these specific values. Now, you're going to learn more about creating definitions and editing definitions when we discuss creating snapshots, comparing snapshots, and tracking changes. Okay, now that we've had an overview, you should be able to go to this link and log. If you're a member of OIC, you can go to this link and log into our instance. If not, you need to get a link to your own instance and then log in. Your administrator will give you a username and password, all right? You're going to need access to Oracle CCG 5.5.1 to be able to complete the lab exercises. We designed this course to provide you with hands-on skills, hands-on experience using the applications. So it's really a requirement that you do that. Okay, now when you click the login button and you enter your username and password, the system's going to display your welcome page or home page. Now you can define any page that you like as your home page. You would simply go up to home on the menu bar and click on it. And when you do that, you can see down at the bottom where it says options. You would just click on the welcome page there, and from the list of values, select the page that you want to that you want to use, or is your home page. So when you open up and log into CCG, that's what you see. I think CCG defaults to the jobs page as your welcome page. The other thing I wanted to show you here, you notice that debug mode is turned on. I think the default is no. Now we turned it on because generally when you first implement CCG, you may have some, you may run into some issues, all right? And normally these issues are related to table space or RAM or just memory, all right? But the Oracle support analyst is going to need you to send them, I think they're called AM logs in CCG. And in order to do that, you have to have the debug mode turned on. That's the reason why I mentioned that. So, anyway, that's how you do that. Okay, let's go through some lab questions just real quickly. Oracle CCG 5.5.1 provides one or more of the following internal controls. Which controls apply to CCG? The correct answer is number 2, configuration management, and number 4, change management. Oracle CCG provides the tools that you need to implement, monitor, and manage these internal controls. Oracle Application Access Controls Governor provides segregation of duties and application access controls. Similarly, Oracle Transaction Controls Governor provides transaction controls. Oracle Preventive Controls Governor, or PCG, is installed with your EBS instance. PCG integrates with AACG to provide user provisioning and can prevent a user from being assigned additional responsibilities which represent a violation of one or more of these SOD controls. Okay, number 2, can you install Oracle CCG on a virtual server? No, Oracle CCG must be installed on a physical server. Can you configure CCG 5.5.1 with an EBS instance that uses rack? No, most likely the configure CCG process will fail for the instance installed in a rack environment. Moreover, Oracle may not support the integration in a rack environment. Number 4, what is the GRC support matrix? The GRC support matrix identifies the hardware and software requirements for an Oracle GRC solution that is supported by Oracle. What triggers the generation of the baseline snapshot and baseline change tracking definitions? Oracle CCG automatically generates snapshot and change track baseline snapshot and change tracking definition templates for each application that you add to the configuration, and then you generate the concurrent process called configure CCG. When you generate that process, the system adds those baseline snapshot definitions and baseline change tracking definitions. Now these are some lab exercises. By now you should have logged into CCG 5.5.1. Go in there, change your welcome page. The snapshots have already been generated in your instance, so what I would do is go to the CCG workbench, review the snapshots, take a look at the definition, just navigate and play around, okay? So, okay, this pretty much concludes our lesson here. Now you're ready to go on to lesson 2, and I think it's called creating snapshots. I can't remember, but you learned that CCG provides internal controls for configuration management and change management. You also learned that it's important that you pay attention and adhere to the requirements for support on the GRC support matrix. You learned that when you configure CCG for the first time, that the system automatically generates the baseline snapshot and change tracking definitions. You also learned that you can edit and run these definitions and test them to make sure that they're giving you the results that you expect to see. And you can also schedule these. Any of these concurrent processes you can schedule like any other concurrent process in Oracle. Now, you also should have been able to log into CCG, especially if you're affiliated with the OIC, because you have access to it. You know how now to display your welcome page and change your user profile to change a different page. You also have access to the course outline called Using CCG 5.5.1, and you have access to links to the Oracle CCG manuals. Now this is what you're going to cover. We just really covered chapter 1. The next chapter is creating snapshots, and you're going to learn to create a snapshot. We'll test the definition, lock the definition, use the definition, share the definition. Then we'll get into that in more detail, and then we're going to compare snapshot definitions. Then we'll get into change tracking, and we'll do a search for the auto-generated change tracking definitions, and we'll edit them and specify them. We'll run the definitions to the first time to deploy it. Remember that CCG does not track changes until you deploy the definition. And we're going to show you how to use the change tracker and set up some queries. I probably won't have anything formal for Chapter 5, scheduled definitions and work with jobs, because we're really going to do that as we go through these other chapters. And the same thing with using list of values, these other things. We're actually going to use reports, use the programs as we go through these first 4 chapters. So they're really covered in there. I just wanted to show you that we do map directly back to the Oracle User's Guide, right, and these other chapters in the User's Guide. So, okay, these are just links to the Installation Guide, the Administration Guide, and the User Guide. All right, this concludes the lesson. You are now ready to begin our next lesson, creating snapshots. Now, just so you know, the OIC, or Oracle Independent Consultants, LLC, is an Oracle Gold partner, and we focus solely on providing risk and advisory services, installation, implementation, and configuration services, training and resources for Oracle risk and compliance solutions, which includes Oracle security and control solutions. Now, you can contact us to learn more. You can call me to learn more. You can send me an email. All right. Thank you very much.